Hey, it's the fryer guy back. So we're going to another call here, and it's on a Henny Penny fryer. It's an open fryer, and normally I don't like to tell who the customer is or anything like that. But in this case, this fryer is very specific for a particular store, and it's for a Chick-fil-A. And what we're going to be working on is a CFE-410 fryer. It's their new open fryer, and the complaint is that the unit is sparking behind the control board, and now it won't turn on. Now, I've been to this particular store before, and the issue was not the fryer, but the actual power cord. This is a 480 volt unit, and it was a bad plug, an outlet situation. So we're gonna do something a little different when diagnosing this. So one of the first things we're gonna do is we're gonna disconnect all the electrical wires off of the terminal block where the power cord connects to. So that way, the power cord won't be loose or anything like that, and there'll be no wires touching it. So that way, when we reset the breaker, if it blows, it is not the fryer, it is gonna be the cord, and that is gonna fall on an electrician. We, here in the area I'm at, are not authorized to replace any of these. They don't come with the power cords or plugs because the voltage, they gotta meet certain code requirements, so you have to be licensed electricians to do that. If it was a standard 208 units or a 120 unit, I could replace the power cord and plug probably, no problem. But in this case, we're not allowed to. So I'm gonna go ahead, get off this, and then I will see you guys at that store, and we'll figure out this together. All right, guys, this is what we're working on, a CFE-410. All right, specifically designed for Chick-fil-A's. The issue is when they turn on, it blows the breaker. So we're gonna go back, find the plug, check the terminal, disconnect all the wires off the terminal block except for the plug, and it'll go from there. All right, the terminal block lies behind this panel here. It's already unplugged, as you can see. So, by the looks of it, you see how that plug's black on the inside? It's shorting out, and more likely it's shorting out here at this particular weird twist lock plug. Just take these 4 screws off, and then get to the terminal block. All right, so this is clearly the terminal block. What we're gonna do is we're gonna disconnect all these wires here. You don't really have to do the ground simply because the ground wires, no voltage going through, but for testing purposes this time, I'm gonna go ahead and remove all the wires up on the top side of the terminal block. What that's gonna do is that's gonna literally isolate the problem. Either it's gonna be here at the terminal block is the issue, which I doubt because I've already tested those the last time I was here, or it's gonna be the plug down here, which I highly think it is. Because when the power's turned on, the actual outlet's not tripping anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these off. Now this is a 3/16 Allen head or Allen wrench. Sometimes if it's too hard to break loose, something I do is I take my screwdriver, and I have one of these awesome flip screwdrivers where it has like multiple things. I pull this piece hole comes out and stuff. One of my favorite. I put on there, and I can just turn it like that by hand, and boom, it loosens it. So I do that to all of them. Now, as you see, I even disconnected the ground wires here, the black wires, red wires, and orange wire, which goes to the white wire. There's literally nothing, no power going to be going to anywhere in the fryer at all. So now we're going to go ahead and plug the unit in, reset the breaker, and if it pops while I reset the breaker, the problem's going to be at the plug or the breaker, but I doubt the breaker. Okay, so I reconnected all the wires back up into the terminal block. I reset the breaker with the wires disconnected, and boom, it tripped. And the problem looks like it is definitely the plug. Now the electricians keep coming out and saying the plug is fine, it looks good. But here's the thing, if you look at this plug, you cannot see the internal components. You see where the wires connect to. I believe personally the problem is at this plug. So there's nothing wrong with the unit here, nothing wrong with the terminal blocks, or you would see where it's arcing and flashing if it was at the terminal blocks or anywhere else. It's an old little technician's trick to find like where a short is at, even a trick to find where a breaker is at by purposely dead shorting something together. So this unit is completely fine except for the plug. Well, guys, we again diagnosed, well, not we, but I again diagnosed that the problem with this particular fryer is it's not the fryer but the plug. The manager wasn't very happy about it because apparently they've had 3 electricians come out and say it wasn't the plug, but the test I did shows you how to definitively prove it's not the fryer. The power cannot go any further than that terminal block. Yes, it's possible to be a bad terminal block, but if it's at the terminal block, you will see arcing at the terminal block and not at the plug necessarily. You know, another way to test one step further is to actually completely remove the terminals off the plug or pull the wires out of the terminal block and then cap them off and then test it again. And then that will rule out the terminal block. So with that, guys, hopefully this helped you out. Don't take the word necessary of every tech out there, you know, that comes in before you and says it's the, you know, it's the unit or something like that, because clearly it wasn't the unit. So if you liked what you saw today, go ahead, hit that like button. If you got any questions or concerns or comments, go ahead and leave it down in the comment section down below. And don't forget to subscribe, so that way you can get some more videos on common problems or even weird problems when it comes to our food equipment. Thanks for watching, guys.